welcome to Hollywood Outsider Podcast. This is your host, Aaron Peterson. To my fucking right is
Scott Clark.
And all out there in fucking Georgia somewhere is
Brian Williams.
And we can hear him this week. That's awesome. So way the fuck right next to the ocean somewhere is Mike Card. Are you there, Mike?
Pretty close to the ocean, like an hour away.
Which ocean?
The Pacific Ocean.
Just want to clarify.
Because that mattered.
It does.
All right.
So am I like the guest on like a TV? You know, on the TV show when they have all the credits in the beginning, and then they have like guest starring, but they're on like every episode.
No, you're bi-regular.
No, I know, but would I?
He's
would
just
that
bi.
the credit I would get?
You're bi-curious.
I'm bi winning.
I'm bi-winning.
That's like the best comeback of all time, by the way. That when he did that.
When who did what? When Charlie
When
Sheen?
Charlie Sheen said that, it was like the greatest comeback of all time.
We should come back to that later in the show, maybe.
We will. I think we will. Well, look at you, segue. Just so you guys know, Scott Clark has been drinking some cocktails. So if he seems a little odd than usual, that's why.
Thanks for calling me out on that. I appreciate that.
I'm not calling you out. I didn't call you out on driving while intoxicated. I just said that you've been drinking.
I was not driving while intoxicated. I was driving while drinking.
This could be.
I wasn't
admitted,
intoxicated.
This could be admitted in court. I'm just letting you know.
I wasn't intoxicated until I got here.
I am not Perry Mason. But
If this show is admissible in court, that's gonna be the funniest day in American judicial history.
That'd be awesome. Think that way they have an audience of like 20. That would rock. That's
Brian's,
so many more than Scott's podcast.
Brian, speak the fuck up, man. You need to talk more.
He's busy.
Yeah.
He's like, I hate you Midwest fucks.
All you got is yeah? Really? Seriously?
I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say, "Oh, he knows about drunk driving down there."
Let me tell you about drinking while I'm driving.
Do it all the time.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, you know, we get out on our tractors after a few cases of Pabst Blue Ribbon, and, you know, we tear it up sometimes.
Oh, that
People
beer's
still
awful.
drink PBR? Seriously?
Why wouldn't
Dude, they drink it all the time in Portland up here. It's ridiculous.
Seriously? Past
Like,
Blue
no.
Ribbon? Well, that's because you're college kids. You can't afford anything real.
No, like literally, the town of Portland, which generally has good taste in things, thinks Pabst Blue Ribbon is like the greatest thing ever, and I hate it so much. It's like that's literally like drinking piss.
Have they
like,
tasted it?
Piss in your mouth. Yes, that's the crazy part.
That is absolutely horrible beer. It is not good beer in any
Hey,
way,
I
shape, or form.
No, it is not.
Hey, are we talking about movies today?
We are. This is a movie podcast. I don't know if anybody heard. We're going to talk about movies. Here's the format. We're going to talk a little bit about new releases. Going to do a box office recap real quick, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up next weekend, which there's a couple actually interesting ones coming out. And we're going to talk about news, and we're going to do a little segment called "Does It Make Me a Sally for Liking This?"
Second week in a row for that.
Second week in a row. So if it doesn't work this week, then I guess it'll go away. But I think it'll work. I think Brian had a good idea. That's the first one he's ever had.
He's kind of a Sally.
He is kind of a Sally. And then we're going to take a little trailer break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a weekly topic, which means every week we talk about something that's kind of on our minds or what we'd like to discuss. Maybe it's something about movies or something about our movie going experience, or it'll be about TV once there's actually something to watch.
I feel like we should call that something else other than weekly topic.
Yeah, well, you can get your own podcast. You can do whatever the
Something
fuck you want,
spicy,
really.
like the ticket topic or something.
The
like,
what?
The ticket. I don't know.
The ticket topic?
It's alliteration for the win. I don't know.
It's not even.
You just use "for the win" in a verbal conversation.
That's
Yeah,
what he did.
FTW, just FTW.
It would be better if I said FTW. No, we
No,
should call that something
no,
else. Call that something
WTF.
else other than weekly topic.
Or you can go on a podcast of another nature
I
and
should
do
get my
whatever
own
you
podcast.
want.
I should get my own podcast.
You should get your own podcast and get drunk on it. That's what you should do.
just him talking drunk by
I
himself.
hate to break it to you. What's going to happen on your next one?
I'm looking forward to
Yay.
it.
You ever seen an angry person drunk? That's what you're going to see.
Oh, I can't wait.
Weekly
Talk about
topic.
fucking Final Fantasy.
The weekly topic is kind of expanded from an idea Mr. Mike Card had, which is we're going to talk about the Hollywood hype machine and how there's so much out there as it ruined our movie-going experience. Then we're going to talk about DVDs and Blu-rays, and of course, we're each going to have our flashback of the week, which is a movie that is either old or obscure that maybe you haven't heard of, that hopefully is something that is new to you and you can check out and enjoy and brings you back to listen to this thing again. So moving on first, new releases. Has anybody seen any of the brand new ones, the ones that are at the top of the chart right now, which is Rise of the Planet of the Apes? The Help, surprise, debuted at $26 million for a weekend.
That was
I saw
second
the
week.
Rise of Planet of the Apes.
You did see it? I saw it too. Did you like it?
I think that's the sleeper hit of the summer, easily. I went into that, you were talking about it before last time I was on here, and I even was surprised that the reviews were so good. So that kind of eventually I had time to go see it, and holy hell, that's a good movie.
Really?
I really liked it too. I gotta tell you, I was surprised. And then special effects. My wife was actually crying over the computer monkey. She was.
Oh yeah,
Because she thought it was like, oh, they're really abusing the monkey. And I'm like, honey, that's CGI. That's actually a little guy crawling around with little dots.
I'm not going to
on his
lie.
head.
The trailer makes it look like they're making fun of the franchise. Like, the trailer makes it look that way.
Really?
Well, I would actually sort of agree because I remember not being able to take it seriously. Like that trailer. The idea is just hard to take seriously until you see the movie and some of the things that come in to the plot. And I'm not going to give them. Like I will say this about the movie: there's more plot behind that than I thought there was going to be, and I think that's probably the biggest.
Yes.
That and the special effects are two biggest credits to the movie. I think because
And the fact that they tied it in to the remaining Planet of the Apes films. I mean, you
Which,
actually
the
ties into
Mark
the
one, or-
first one. No, just the first one, really.
Okay.
It really ties into the first one.
And I don't think that this was really giving anything away, but they make it credible that they would take over humanity. Because that was my biggest problem with the whole thing is if you have a story where apes take over humanity, my argument is always well, you just shoot all the apes and you're done with it. But
Yeah.
they actually get around that in a very smart way.
Yeah, they get that one. They nail it. I think they did a really good job. I was very impressed.
I need to go see this movie, seriously.
And the special effects, we already sort of said,
Were
that is probably the
phenomenal.
best, way of getting around the uncanny valley problem I have ever seen. Maybe not getting around it, but the fact that none of those apes are real is just mind-bending.
I'm not going to lie, though. From the trailers, though, the CG does not look good.
It looks awesome in the movie.
Really?
You start to believe that that's a real ape. And some of it you got to buy into because some of it's kind of a little cheesy, but I'm telling you, the special effects work. It's awesome.
Really?
But
Yeah.
it's not just Caesar though; it's all of them. That's the
all
part
of
that
them.
is crazy to me. Like that orangutan looks like a real orangutan.
The circus
that's maybe
orangutan?
the best special effects I've ever seen.
How is James Franco? Because,
He's like Christmas Jones in the Bond movie. I mean, he's believable.
bad?
No, he's believable, but
No, I think he's better than that.
yeah, he's
yeah,
believable.
he's forgettable. I mean, you kind of forget he's even in the movie after about halfway through.
Yeah, it's really about Caesar.
But they kind of write him out of it in a way.
okay.
But
Not
they
like he's dead, but I mean, it just kind of it focuses on other things.
So
they have little, especially if you're a big fan of the first one, which I am, big fan of the original, not like 14
Charlton
other
Heston.
shitty ones. Yeah, the Charlton Heston original. They have a lot of throwbacks to that first movie that really make it worth the while because especially if you're a long-term fan, you'll pick up on it and it'll just make it go. Wow.
So I need to see this movie. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I
Can I
said.
just point out that one line that one of the characters says is about 3/4 of the way into the movie. That's a big homage to the first one. I thought was the worst moment of the movie because it was so
Forced.
take you out of the experience.
Yep. It was so forced. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just why did you do that? This was such a good scene.
Was it Damn Dirty Ape?
Yeah, it probably was.
That's it.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Really?
And
Yeah.
the last character you'd expect to say that ends up saying, well, not the last, but it was just what the hell? Why did you have to say it right there?
All right. Well, you guys have sold to me. I'm going to go see this movie in the theater. So
Nice. I guess you want to segue? Is that what you're saying?
Wait, one other thing about the movie that was unexpectedly good, John Lithgow. First of all, I had no idea he was in it, and second of
I
all,
didn't either.
I think he was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, he was really good. He played
And
an
they needed him for an
Alzheimer's
emotional,
daddy-o.
you were Brian, you were talking about, what's his name? James Franco being kind of forgettable, and I feel John Lithgow brings a human kind of element, emotional sort of connection in that movie that it needed, and he did.
Yeah, that was the part that I really liked about it, is that it really kind of sucks you in with the emotion part of it and kind of gets you attached to, not only Caesar but some of the human characters too, and of course it kind of takes off from there. But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah,
definitely, Scott. Go pay your $10 and go see it.
I'd give it about $8 out of 10 if you can see it for about $8. It's fair.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
That's pretty high for you.
It's like
Not
4 out
gonna
of 5. Also, The Help came out, and apparently that was a really big surprise hit. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of, especially women, which I don't know. We don't really know what those look like, but I hear they're pretty attractive.
Seriously, as hot as Emma Stone is, I have no desire to see this movie.
I actually kind of want to see it. It looks
Really?
interesting. Yeah, Brian, you know you want to see it.
You're from that climate, or
Yeah, I see it every day.
Yes,
but,
he's from '60s Georgia. That's where he's from. Is it
Yeah,
Georgia?
yeah, but
Where is it?
I mean,
Where is it from?
you
Actually,
got Georgia on your mind, or
oh Jesus Christ, is it actually from Georgia? Set in Georgia? Anybody know?
I know the
don't
devil
know.
went down there. That's all I know.
The So we're gonna do every. Scott just lost it. He literally just lost it.
Well, to be fair, that was a really funny joke. So yeah.
It was a real pretty.
Oh my god. So anyway, Planet of the Apes is still on top. It's doing pretty well. The Help's number 2. Final
It beat-
Destination 5 did not. It did the first thing, which it did not
Good.
beat its predecessors at the box office.
I'm
Good
with
job,
Mike.
people in the
I'm with
world,
Mike.
that you didn't go make
What?
that number 1.
I'm with Mike that movie did not do well. They need to stop making Final Destination
I
movies.
think this probably will do it.
I
Honestly,
hope so.
yeah, I think it will. Smurfs is holding on pretty solid. They already got the sequel coming, and 30 Minutes or Less did not do well. It did about as
That's
well
so
as the Change Up
disappointing.
did.
It's so disappointing.
So-
It got a lot of bad reviews though.
Yeah,
Like
which
I
is-
didn't see it over Apes because if there's everybody. I mean, like I know you guys liked it, but it was just like, all right, there's the movie that everybody says is great, or like the movie that, and not that I won't end up seeing 30 seconds or less, or 30 minutes or less, sorry. But like when you got a movie that's getting reviews like that wasn't supposed to, that I don't know. I feel like that.
I'm telling you,
Shuts
young
everything else.
young comedies never get really solid reviews.
Granted, take it for a grain of salt because me and Aaron saw it on a premiere and we were really hyped up about it. That's kind of the purpose of a premiere, honestly. So like we were pretty amped to go see it, but it still was a legitimately funny movie.
I agree with Aaron. Like some of the best comedies, one of my favorite movies is a movie that like got totally panned by critics. So I agree that it's not that I don't think it's funny. I was way more like I got to see this Rise of the Planet of the Apes thing because everybody's going nuts about it.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. Cowboys and Aliens is a flop officially. It dropped another 50%.
Did it lose money?
Yeah, it cost 163 million to make. It's only made 81 million in the U.S. and it's not doing very well overseas. So it won't. No Cowboys and Aliens, and what'd you say? Pirates and Ninjas. So
That's too bad because that was a fun movie. I'm not gonna lie. It was
That's all right.
passable, but it was a fun movie.
it was a fun movie. And
You're gonna do
what'll
I'm
be
sorry.
out? I'm sorry. What'll be out this weekend? Conan the Barbarian's coming out, which apparently Mike's having a Conan day, whatever that is. It's got a bunch of guys running around half naked and
All right, actually, we're not
Coping
going
for-
to take our clothes off.
yeah. So you
It just
say
means-
Yeah.
It's
Well, I'm
loin-
out
mead,
then. I'm out
loin
then.
cloths only.
mead and barbecue and Conan movies. We're watching the old ones with Arnold.
yeah. I promise you, there will be some oil at some point.
We're going to find out what is good in life.
So are you watching Red Sonja too? Does that count?
Nah, if we can, I'm sure if we had the time, and if it's on like Instant Watch or something, we'll totally watch that movie. I've seen parts of it. It looks like this is the same group of guys that we like find really bad. Like we watched Zardoz once and did a drinking game to it. So we love watching old like ridiculous movies and getting trashed.
Nice.
What's
well,
that?
What?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Conan is so far doing about 43%, so it's not really positive, but it's not horrible either for an action movie.
I have no desire to see
Sounds
it
like
still.
exactly where I expected it to be.
Yeah, no desire, but my wife will make me go see. That's actually an action movie my wife will make me go see,
That's so weird.
isn't it? Because it's not one I
It
want
really
to see.
is.
Fright Night, which is definitely the one I'll be seeing this weekend, is at 60%, which makes me feel good because it's a horror movie. They don't always get very good reviews,
That's true.
so
When are you
anything
going-
positive is good. on that.
When are you
Just
gonna
don't
see
like
that?
supporting vampires.
I'm going. Well, that's a different kind of.
It's not Twilight,
It's a
dude.
cool-
Seriously.
I know, but I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I think vampires are the most creatively bankrupt idea in American media right now. Like it's just it's vampires. I mean, granted, I will say this about when I saw the trailer that it looked like they were intentionally not doing that, but that also seems so like obvious that it just sort of annoys me. Like, just we need to revisit vampires in like 10 years. I don't want to see any more vampires.
Yeah, but it's kind of the fault of Twilight. Seriously.
I like vampire
I know,
movies.
but Twilight still ruined it.
I like R-rated vampire movies. How's that? I don't like PG-13. They
Yeah,
glimmer.
but even now, granted, I think this could be like I'll say this. This is the one thing in a while that is kind of stood out to me. But like even R-rated vampires, there's still a lot of the same conventions. Like we all wear black and we're kind of goth and da 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 da. And like granted, this movie, like I said, doesn't do that. But
As long as they
I'm
don't
sick-
play baseball in the rain, I'm cool.
Moving on. We've talked about that one in the last quite a bit. One Day is at 36%. So I mean that's a romantic movie. I don't know if it's a comedy, but it's Anne
premise
Hathaway.
is interesting, but
Yeah.
other than that,
I have no desire. Spy Kids All the Time in the World has no reviews out because it's not being screened for critics yet. Which
we
is
can
not
smell it from here.
Yep, we can smell it from here. So coming out
It
next
smells like
weekend.
Scott right now.
Oh, yeah, he does. He smells like he's fuming. Coming out next weekend, Colombiana. Zoe Saldana is playing Catalia, some chick assassin. She's on a mission to hunt down the bitches who killed her parents when she was a kid. Our Idiot Brother. That's Paul Rudd, stars as dimwit brother of Emily Mortimer, Elizabeth Banks, and Zoe Deschanel, who's the
Deschanel.
Deschanel, sister of Emily Deschanel from
Bones.
And what a good
Oh,
family to be your brother in, but you can't
Bone the
bang him.
Deschanels.
I would take either one. Who will all take turns housing him, and of course, learning very special family ties lessons about shit. Don't don't be afraid of the dark. Alex and Kim, who are played by Guy Pearce and Katie Holmes, restore their gothic mansion. Alex's daughter, Sally, investigates the spooky whispers and shit from the estate and ends up opening a gateway to hell, etc.
You lost me at Katie Holmes.
I'd like to be lost in Katie Holmes.
I'm kind of with Mike on that one, honestly.
I don't like Katie Holmes in any movie. She's fucking boring.
I disagree. I was fine with her in Batman Returns. When they replaced her, really took me out of it, of Dark Knight for a while, until like the second or third time I saw it. Sorry, I'm the only person.
She wasn't bad in Dark Knight, but
she was fine.
Yeah, but that was like everybody was good in anything that's related to Christopher Nolan Batman. So
she wasn't great in Dark Knight. Let's be honest.
I thought she was fine.
She wasn't.
She was a very token character, and she was fine. She didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why they had no reason to replace her. Absolutely no reason to replace her. That was such a silly, stupid move.
I think if they replaced her, they replaced her and it got better. So
Tom Cruise didn't.
That's my argument against all of this.
Brighton Rock is also coming out. That's a small movie. It's a typical little crime flick about Pinky. Yeah, his name is Pinky, who's hell bent on climbing to the top of organized crime in '60s Britain. After young Wagers catches evidence linking him to a revenge killing, Pinky goes on a mission to seduce and silence her. It sounds so fucking cheesy. My pick of the week is gonna be Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. The reviews are actually pretty solid so far, and Katie Holmes is in it, and I like Katie Holmes as opposed to everybody else.
You're leading with your dick, man. Seriously.
No, I actually like Katie Holmes. I'm a huge Dawson's Creek fan. I wish I had all the seasons.
Seriously. It's funny you say you're
you
a fan.
Might be a Sally if.
Season 1.
Hey, Brian, you're there.
Hey, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't heard from you in a while. I thought you took a nap.
No, I mean, Don't Be Afraid. I mean, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark is my pick too. I'm about ready for a horror movie. It's with all the action stuff and the Smurfs and chick flicks and romantic comedies and even R-rated comedies. Just kind of looking for a change of pace. So I think Don't Be Afraid of the Dark is something to kind of check out.
Why is that?
He just told you.
I just told you, didn't
okay. Well, I like the trailer for Are You Afraid of the Dark, but I wasn't as... I'm still kind of like in the fence of like, I don't know what's going on in that movie as far as like, it's just another...
I'm afraid the scene with the bed sheets and the girl and
that is what sold me too. But yeah,
that's what sold me. But I'm scared. But I'm scared that's going to be like the only payoff. The only big thing in the movie. But I'll give it a shot.
Scott, from just seeing the trailer, I can guarantee you ghosts are going on in that movie. That's what goes on.
No, I got that. But for me, my pick of this lot is going to be our idiot brother.
Yeah,
I'm a big Paul Rudd fan. I like Paul Rudd, even when he's like an idiot. He was.
I just love watching you talk right now. Go ahead.
Is he straining?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where he played like the doped out like surfer guy.
Yeah,
he was fucking hilarious.
Slapping the bass.
And seeing him as a full time character like that, even in that movie you're talking about, was
I Love You, Man.
I Love You,
Man.
Where it was like he was like half like there. He was half dude, bro, whatever. And in this movie, he's like all.
Chillaxing,
yeah.
So to speak.
Like, and I want to see that. Yeah,
I am obviously with Scott on that one. I like him a lot. I like the cast, and I like I don't know, like it's not anything. I don't think anything this week that's coming out is anything but derivative, like for each genre, except for even Brighton Rock sounds like it's super derivative. So I think of all the things, because like I've seen about 1,000 ghost movies, and I was even thinking about this earlier when I was looking at this, and just thinking like I can think of a bunch of movies that do ghost stories better than Don't Be Afraid. Now, granted. Like, it doesn't mean it'd be bad. I just feel like the one that sticks out to me the most is going to be Our Idiot Brother. I'm
in the same boat because Don't Be Afraid of the Dark seems like a fun movie. Like, I'll have some fun with it, but it's nothing that I haven't seen before. Our Idiot Brother seems like what I want in a comedy. Something to laugh at, something to have a good time. It's not going to be a great movie. You know what I mean? But it's going to be fun.
Also, there's a beard. There's beards. Crazy beards going on. Another movie can say that.
That's true. All right, let's move on to. I'm sorry, Mike. What was yours the same pick of the week?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got two.
Since you guys were both talking about it, that must be yours.
Two for Idiot Brother, one for. What was the?
I also said that it was. So
Brian and I both said Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Oh, so it's a tie.
So it's a tie.
What is the audience to do now?
I think they'll probably have to make up their own mind.
I guess they'll have to go see Columbiana and just.
No, trust me on that.
I'm still obsessed.
Wait for video.
Yeah, that looks like a rental. Get rental or cable.
I'm joking.
You can put pretty much anybody, and I just can't buy that somebody that rail thin is kicking ass. I'm sorry.
Just go watch The Transporter. It's the same movie with a dude, and better, by the way.
Or La Femme Nikita. Either one.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's go move on to the news. No, that's what's coming out, so hopefully you guys will go catch one of those out. I kind of think none of those are going to be a real box office hit, to be honest with you. But this late in the month, nothing really hits.
If I had to predict, I would say Apes will be on top again.
Yeah. Or The Help. The Help is a chick flick. Those usually hold on pretty well.
Yeah, but it's getting bad press, though, because there's a whole argument against that movie that instead of, like, making it, about, like, black women in the South being, the racism against them, it's about white women feeling better about themselves by not being racist, which is kind of a good argument. Which I could go on about.
Who gives a shit? It's based on a book. If they've got a problem with the movie, their problem's with the fucking book.
I'm just saying.
Look at
if we're talking
Brian.
about box office.
Brian, you're from the South.
I'm
This should be
just
all
saying.
about you. Like, seriously.
Don't
You
say
know,
that.
I mean, they had the same. A lot of people were complaining about. I won't get into it, but Game of Thrones. There are certain characters that get killed off, and people complain, and it's like, that's
Game
the
of
fucking
Thrones
book.
is also about reality, though. That's the other thing. Is like this is about an actual thing that happened, and Game of Thrones is about. Now, I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Right. But the point is that the point that I'm making is that people are complaining about this movie, but it's based on the book. There are problems with the book, and if this book is supposedly based on something that really happened, then there's nothing for them to be mad about.
Well, but it's not okay. But it's not about the fact that it's something that really happened. The idea is that the focus of the story is about a white woman who, like, granted, realizes that she, there's racism and everything. And I'm not necessarily saying that the aim of the book is not positive in thought, but the argument is that, like, this kind of movie is written around, like, the fact that, like, oh, we shouldn't really examine where the racism is coming from as much as, like, hey, look, this is a coming of age story about a white woman, and, like, oh, look, she's helping out these black women instead of, like, and once again, not that that's a bad message on its surface, but I don't know, there's a whole thing about, like, why the message of this is sort of off kilter and sort of weird if you kind of look at it.
Let me put it this way: I think Emma Stone is hotter than fuck, and that is not enough to make me go want to see this movie.
Really? I want to see it because it looks interesting. The book it's actually it's gotten great reviews and da-da-da-da. So I kind of want to see it.
I'm not even trying to knock the
That's
movie.
your
I'm
argument.
just talking about, like, that's what people are saying about it, and I think that there's an interesting point there's a discussion to be had about that, but probably not the best place to have it anyway. So
Okay.
Oprah's probably the best place, and they canceled that shit.
Jesus.
What?
fuck Oprah.
Yeah. No way. She's a billionaire. I'll fuck Oprah.
I'll marry her.
Going on.
Great Dave Chappelle sketch, by the way.
Going on to news. Some of the stuff that's coming up. We're going to talk about new trailers. Which one of the ones that came out was Harold and Kumar Christmas. Anybody see it? Everybody should have
saw the
saw
trailer.
it.
I
I
saw
think
the
it looks
trailer.
pretty funny. And I did not like the first two movies at all.
I think that I don't smoke weed, so I'm not really. I don't know. All that just kind of gets old
Anymore.
because, like, that's the only joke. But I think that anything. Okay, they should just make a movie with Neil Patrick Harris.
Thank you.
As himself, or as he is in those movies, because I don't really give a shit about Harold and Kumar, but he's fucking hilarious in those.
Seriously, this is the dumbest movie that I will pay full price for to see this Christmas. This year.
This Christmas.
This is the dumbest movie that I will pay full price to see this year.
Brian, do you want to see it?
No. Although I will say there's a couple of the jokes that were funny.
I'm
the
gay.
Asian guy talking to the camera, he makes the 3D joke where he throws
Who are
his
you
hands
looking
out.
at?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Who are you looking
That
at?
was funny. He's like, yeah, what are you looking at?
And you will hear the trailer in the break, but the funniest line in this whole trailer was when he's like, "I thought you were gay."
Gay for that
Right.
pussy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when you hear that line, God, that was funnier than hell.
Another one coming out is 50-50, which is Seth Rogen and Joseph.
That looks amazing.
That does look really good.
And by the way, I'm gonna go see.
Can I finish my description
Joseph
real quick?
Gordon-Levitt.
Oh,
That's cool.
look-
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and
From
Seth
Inception
Rogen,
fame.
yeah, are playing. It's a comedy about friendship and cancer. It looks pretty solid. I'll be honest with you.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's-
I seen
comedy.
this preview like 2 years ago. It seems like.
Yeah.
I thought this movie had already come out, so I'm kind of surprised to see it.
The only thing I didn't like about the trailer was that, of course, Seth Rogen has to, like, try and get him weed. 'Cause I'm getting
Yeah,
kind of tired of that joke with him.
yeah, a little bit.
But I'm going to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt next Tuesday at a thing in Seattle, and I'm hoping he actually brings it up because I was very. This kind of shot up on my want to see list because it looked pretty good.
Seriously, please do, because we went and saw a Q&A with an actor, and we didn't ask the questions we wanted to. So please do that.
Yeah,
Dri-
we'll do that if I get the chance.
All right.
Drive is another one that was
Wait,
coming out.
can I say one thing about 50-50 really quick? The thing that's most excited about me for this movie is that it's a comedy movie, but it's centered around a serious topic,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's pretty cool, especially when you throw in Seth Rogen in the mix, because all of his comedies are all about drugs and alcohol and getting
I
laid
think
and knocked
it
up.
looks like
and
how like a buddies would actually handle that situation, which is nice.
That's what I'm excited about. This it's like a serious topic taken in a comedic fashion. That's what I'm excited about this movie. So I'm stoked to see it 50-50.
You sound like I'm at the retard clinic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
also like that he said 50-50 and not
Yeah.
50-50.
All your words are slurred, coming out, going. Bless him.
I'm just gonna stop
I
talking.
like baseball. Am I wrong, guys? You're not even in this room.
No.
It's not coming off that bad, but I can't see him, so.
All right, I'm just gonna
Drive.
stop talking.
No, stop talking. Drive is the other one. It's Ryan Gosling, who
Which
plays
is something Scott should not do, by the way.
who plays a
I will be.
stunt driver who can't seem to get enough emotion. So what he does is he starts helping drive getaway cars for bank robberies, and he gets tangled up in a bunch of other shit. It actually looks pretty interesting. Ryan Gosling is a good actor. I'm kind of curious what he does.
See, that's what I don't like about it. He looks like he has zero charisma, but what I did like about the trailer is that the director's visual stuff looks incredible.
Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, to me, it kind of looks like Transporter meets every other I'm holding money from the bad guys that I didn't take on purpose, and I better get it to them in a clever way so they don't kill me type of movie. But other than that, I mean, it looks really good. I know it sounds like I'm dogging it, but, you know, I'm not a Ryan Gosling fan. He just doesn't do anything for me. But
I thought he was.
But I love cars. I love car chases and all that stuff too. So it looks really good.
See, this might go in the does this make me a Sally segment, but I love The Notebook.
I thought you were going to say Ryan Gosling.
Wow.
Ryan Gosling sold me in The Notebook as far as an actor. Like he owned that role. Seriously, don't roll your eyes at me, dude.
I'm not rolling my eyes at you. I think
Yes,
it's
you
good.
are.
I think it's good that you cry.
Dude, if you watch that movie and
Inside,
don't
man,
cry,
it's yours.
you're an asshole. Seriously.
I didn't cry.
Look, I saw the
I ain't
previews on
cried.
that. I saw the previews on that and had the whole movie figured out in the 30-second commercial.
Well, of
I
course
did
you
too.
did. Of
I had
course you
no
did.
desire to spend $10 on a movie
Dude,
ticket.
I had that movie figured out as soon as it started. I was like, "Oh God, that's how it's
Yeah.
gonna end." And
It's
it was,
not-
it was
it's
so
not-
predictable. So I know every woman in the world loves it, including Scott Clark. But it was so predictable, so predictable.
Say what you want about the movie. I like
just
the
did.
movie. I like the movie, but Ryan Gosling was very believable as that character. You tell me otherwise. Seriously.
Sure, he was fine as a weepy guy, if that's what you're looking for. I like Ryan Gosling. I just don't.
Yeah, well-
that one movie, I know everybody loves it. I don't. I'm just not one of those people.
What's a better Ryan Gosling movie than that?
Fracture. I thought he was awesome in Fracture. I don't really think the movie's that great, but I thought he was fucking awesome.
He was great in
as-
that movie.
and
You-
very charismatic.
Was that the what was it, Anthony Hopkins?
yes,
sir.
I thought the
One-
movie sucked.
Oh yeah. That was
I
good.
didn't like that movie at all.
well, then
I
you,
think I just don't like Ryan Gosling.
obviously. But that was a good movie, and I think he gave an extremely charismatic performance, and he's hailed as like the future of his generation. So I mean, there's something to be said in him. Of him. Hang on. Okay, another one that came out was Harry Potter's in a new fucking movie, which is called The Woman in Black. It's like Harry Potter plays a dad, so apparently him and Hermione were banging in the back of the school. Wow. And he's like, and this is how he's selling it. He's got like what is it, like a 5 o'clock shadow. And he's walking around and he's very sad. He's brooding.
Can I be
I
honest
was
about this
naked
trailer?
on a horse once
Yes.
in a play. Come see my movie. I'm not Harry Potter anymore, I swear.
Can I be honest about this movie?
You can try. Go
But
ahead.
you have to lie.
No, like this movie, I have the trailer that I saw. I have no idea what the hell is going on in this movie. Honestly,
Expecto Patronum.
No.
There's ghosts in my house. That's what this movie's about.
no. Like if you're gonna want to flaunt a movie with Daniel Radcliffe as the lead, make him the fucking lead. The trailer has like nothing to do with Daniel Radcliffe. They make it about this creepy persona, whatever. You don't know what's going on. Sell it with the star cast on this.
Well, they kind of are. They're basically trying to set it up as a ghost story.
But they showed Daniel Radcliffe in like 2 or 3 scenes in the movie. Like seriously, if you want to
I
sell
saw him
tickets,
in a lot more
No,
than that.
yeah, he was in there quite a bit more. He's just got facial hair. You didn't recognize him.
But dude, I guarantee you he's the one that doesn't want to be all over this movie because he doesn't want to because that's what happens. Everybody that's in like a big franchise and they go do that other movie that right after, it's usually terrible because everybody's like, oh, this is just their vehicle or whatever. So I'm pretty sure he's trying to not do that, but it's kind of impossible because everybody's going to talk about this as the Daniel Radcliffe movie after Harry Potter.
Exactly. So, no one's going to be able to see him. He's typecast officially for the rest of his career.
I honestly want to see the movie. I think he's trying really hard to sell it. I'm going to give him a shot.
I think it's a good change of pace, and from what he's done, and from that commercial, there's nothing scarier than monkey dolls, little girls, and clowns, and this thing's got all three. So I'm in.
See, for me, those are like things that don't scare me about movies anymore. Like, how many countless movies do we have about scary children and shit climbing on the ceiling and like, oh, I turned this corner and there's a jump scare. Like, I don't like these haunted house movies unless there's something like, twist to them. And like, if the twist is Daniel Radcliffe, I get really bored by it.
Especially when
I'm a big fan of you got to give everything a fair shot. So I'm not going to say it's a ripoff until I see it.
Yeah, but especially when
go ahead, Scott.
Especially when the stuff crawling on the ceiling looks completely CG, like it looked completely fake.
I just think that the premise is kind of derivative. You have to give it that, Aaron. Like, there's not what's the real hook there that really like it. I mean, once again, I'm not saying it's like a terrible movie. I'm just saying
I will have this argument with anybody any day. Every fucking movie is derivative of something. Every fucking movie. I hate that argument. I hate it.
Rubber. Tell me how the movie Rubber is not derivative.
Which movie?
Rubber.
Rubber with about the tire that fucking attacks a town.
Really?
As like ESP.
It's about a monster attacking a town. Bam, derivative of something. They're all derivative of something. It's a matter of what they take it, they make it theirs. That's what I care about. If you can make a movie your own, I don't care if I've seen it before.
Have you seen the trailer for Rubber?
Yes, it looks fucking stupid. Sorry.
You look stupid.
Scott looks like he's
I win.
Are you gonna
win?
Are you gonna throw up?
No, I just I'm trying to figure out how the trailer for Rubber looks derivative.
Of any other dude, it's a
You're
looking at it.
Godzilla.
Yes, thank you. You're looking at it so simplistically. Every movie is derivative of something. There are no original ideas, so to speak.
If you boil it down to be like that general about it, but in terms
that's kind of what derivative means. Yes.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like, what is the hook?
Well, yeah, if you want to get technical.
Okay, but just talking about the premise of the Daniel Radcliffe movie, what is the hook of this movie that makes?
I don't know. They don't really go into it.
Daniel Radcliffe
it's a trailer that doesn't go into anything. What's
that? It's the feel of it. It looks all CGI, but
stop rubbing your boobs. Seriously.
Go ahead, Brian.
Can I keep rubbing mine?
Just a little bit.
No, it's just the look of it. It looks like it's completely CGI, but you know what? So are all the Harry Potter movies and half of the other movies that come out nowadays. So,
it looks very.
It's about the feel of it. It looks creepy. The little
atmospheric. You mean
atmosphere, right? And even I'm a sucker for the little scenes like where you see him looking out the window, he looks away, the camera goes away, it comes back, and there's something standing behind him, stuff like that. I'm a sucker for those types of things, so it looks good.
Well, so you're all about Paranormal Activity, is what you're saying?
Yes, but I have a kind of like you guys with the.
He's got a good story with that one, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with you guys when y'all go to these little premieres or the little meet and greet type of things.
The twice the time that happened.
Go ahead, Brian. Just ignore him.
Look, I live in South Georgia, so we don't get access to those kinds of things down here.
Do you have electricity down there?
Wow. Keep going, Brian. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Anyway, a friend of mine, his sister-in-law works for a marketing company that does marketing for movies and stuff. And so she gets, copies of movies all the time. And so by proxy, he gets them. She'll hand him some. And so basically about 3 or 4 years ago, he came down to visit. He brought this movie, and it was just a DVD with Paranormal Activity written on it. He says, dude, you ought to check this out. I said, all right. So we watched it, freaked me out. And then, about a year, maybe a little bit more later, all of a sudden this movie comes out and it's, the big hit. So I've got a little bit of a personal attachment to it. So.
But. Yeah.
Well, that movie is a ghost story. Once again, it's definitely derivative in terms of ghost stories, but it has a hook of the way that it's made sets it apart. And I love that movie. Whereas like Daniel Radcliffe's like, oh, so it's like The Haunting, but it has Harry Potter in it. Wow.
I'm sorry. I saw Paranormal Activity and I said, oh, look, it's Blair Witch on somebody's bed. That's what it was. It's all derivative of something.
I'm with Mike. That's.
I'm just saying, you don't know enough about it until it comes out. So we're basically going off what the trailer says.
I'm going off of what they showed me, and what they showed me was a lot of shit I'd seen before and Harry Potter.
I
And
want
once
to.
again,
I
I'm
want to
just
see
going off
Harry
what they
Potter
showed.
being a dad with a 5 o'clock shadow. That's my dream. Moving.
Where did you say gay wad?
Moving. What? I want to see his magic wand and see what he can do with it. Moving on.
Lord.
Mike Myers actually signed a deal, or he's working on a deal. He hasn't actually signed it yet, but he's going to do another Austin Powers movie because his career is fucking shit. That's why. What do you
It's
guys
been
think?
2002 since another Austin Powers movie has been out. That's
I'll be
9
honest and
years.
say that I think that the first two Austin Powers are awesome. Like I still like them,
Yep.
but the third one was when I was like, yeah, we're done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I was really Powers 3 was so blah. It was bad. Not bad, just bland. I guess. It was
Yeah,
just
there were some funny
lame.
parts, but it just wasn't worth the effort.
Michael Caine was the only thing I liked about it.
Oh god,
Yeah.
Michael Caine was great in it, but
He's
Mi-
great in everything.
And Michael Myers is really just like a franchise comic at this point. I mean, he can't come up with anything that works.
because Shrek has died out, so like, what else is he gonna do?
I mean, I'm sure he'll do Shrek 14 if they let him because he can't get a job doing it. Love Guru 2 ain't gonna happen. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody's really excited about this. I don't
No.
think.
I think that
think
it
it's
has
about 10
potential-
years too late, probably. But
10
I think
years.
this could be a surprise. Like I don't know why, but I just feel like that we have such low expectations for it. And I mean, granted, it could just be terrible, but I could see this being one that, like, for whatever reason, he gets a good writer, he sits down, he figures something out, and it ends up being like way better than we expect it to be. But I don't think the odds are high for that. But I would like to see that happen.
I would like to
What
say a good one.
what good
too.
writer is going to work on Austin Powers 4?
Thank you. Seriously.
yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I'm hoping they have a different
I have
job.
seen crazier things happen.
Judd Apatow.
Oh, he needs to take a break. Is what I think.
And not Judd Apatow, but just somebody. I don't know. Like they've made comedy out of weirder ideas. So I don't know.
What about the Lone Ranger? They canceled Lone Ranger. I was all excited for that, but apparently the
man.
$200 million budget
That
was a little too
could've been cool.
steep.
That's depressing. That really is
but there's one more twist.
Ah,
It may not be dead after all. Apparently, Gore Verbinski has about a week or so to basically reimagine the script and to trim down the budgie.
the budgie.
Yep.
Is that slang for budget?
Well, the proposed budget was $200 million, and the concern was that because they need international numbers, and even though Johnny Depp is like the biggest worldwide star of the world right now, they don't think a Lone Ranger, which is a very American concept, is going to sell overseas as much. So $200 million seems really steep because it would really have to make like $500 million to even come close to breaking even.
That does make sense a little bit, honestly.
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually, according to the Hollywood Reporter earlier, actually today, doing a little research on this, they
Go, Brian.
yeah, I did me a little homework.
They do have schools there.
We do got some learning houses.
Some learning.
Learning houses.
So
I get a
yeah,
new
but they
awesome
said-
Southern joke every week. I love that.
but apparently the budget was like upwards of 300 million, and they got it. He's got it down to about 245 million, and they want him down to like 215. And they said it would have to make about 800 million to be profitable.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
And
that's why they want him to bring it down. So he,
Especially
but apparently he's trying to do. I mean, he's doing everything he can, but they're basically saying that he needs to get a better script, trim down the budget, and possibly even ask some of the actors to take a pay cut.
See,
Can you imagine sitting in the room like for a movie and someone's like, "Yeah, this is gonna have to make $800 million to be profitable," and you're on the other end of that? Like, that's got to be the most stressful thing ever a human being can hear.
And so, some guy raises his hand. I think we can do it. And they all look at him and go, all right, Bob, remember that. You're the one that said it.
but seriously, look what they did with like Zorro with Antonio Banderas.
That did not make $800 million.
It did not make $800 million,
Nope.
but it was still a freaking good movie. The first one was.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It was a lot of fun. It was great cast. If they could do the same thing with Lone Ranger, I could see that making, but not 800 million.
No, it's not.
I just want to see something new out of Gore Verbinski because I mean he clearly has a lot of talent for making really great
He gets a lot of flack, though.
adventure movies with the Pirates movies, and then like with Rango from seeing a lot of stuff about that, he clearly is a guy who cares a lot about story. So I mean, although I say that and I think the third Pirates movie was a disaster, but especially in terms of story, but regardless, I'd like to see him do something with the Lone Ranger because that fits him like a glove. So.
Brian's a big fan of the third one. I know that. I didn't.
No, I like the third one. I just didn't
I don't
like
think it makes
the
any sense.
fourth one.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Lone Ranger is maybe in limbo at this point. How's that?
There we go.
Batman versus Superman is maybe back on the table since Green Lantern did not do well. They're not going to proceed with any kind of Avengers type Justice League project because nobody would go see it.
Can
Obviously,
I be perfectly honest?
you can try. I'm hoping you can say
You've asked
it.
that question quite a bit during this show.
This is a terrible idea. Batman and Superman. This is two completely different universes trying to come together that don't make sense.
They're actually in the same universe.
Literally,
I think he means in terms of like this is not what I was going to say, and I think Scott will agree with this. And I think it's kind of the same thing he's saying. Is like, this is not going to be the Batman from the Nolan movies. It'll be like a different, sort of offshoot story that has nothing to do with any of the stuff we've been seeing lately.
I don't think that's what he was going to say.
No, the idea between Batman and Superman is Batman is more like a normal guy that has high-tech gadgets and fights crime. Superman is from Krypton.
Mm-hmm.
He's got supernatural powers. You put those two
He has
together,
no gadgets at all.
it just...
Why you got to judge?
I'm not judging.
Because he's from Krypton, it makes him different.
It makes no sense to me to put these two together.
I see what you're saying. You're saying
Go,
he could
go read
beat
The Dark Knight
fuck-
Returns. It's got like the best fight between Batman and Superman ever, and it totally works. Trust me.
Yep.
And I'm a nerd, by the way.
Yep.
Brian,
Yes, he is, and I
Brian-
totally agree.
I wrote the book on Nerd, and I think this is a bad idea. Seriously. You have two different opposing universes. One that's based in reality, one that's based in fantasy. And you're trying to put them together. I just don't see it working.
What about fucking Batman screams reality? You see a bunch of guys running around with like grapples
Hockey
and
pads.
grapples and
Yeah.
shit.
Who can run around kicking ass all night and then still work the next day?
Yeah, exactly. I'm
I
just
see a lot more reality in Batman than I do in Superman.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Although I've flown quite. I think you're flying right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we can agree that Tim Burton should go nowhere near that movie after seeing all that Superman stuff he was going to do.
Yeah, because Nicolas Cage is
Yeah, because I don't want to see Helena Bonham Carter as Lois Lane or some shit.
she'd be
That's a
crazy.
damn good point, actually.
Going on to some TV news, so we'll see if that ever happens. I don't think it will. but
Johnny Depp would be Superman too.
no Henry Cavill. He's contracted. Christian Bale is not.
He'd
Which-
find a way to put Johnny Depp in that movie. Captain Jack Sparrow is like the third. He's the wild card of the whole Batman versus Superman thing.
Some TV news that's coming up. Lopez Tonight is canceled. A lot of people are blaming it on Conan. Yeah, pretty much. I don't mean who watched it, but a lot of people were blaming it on the white guy. That's just kind of sad because I like George Lopez. He's all right for a comic with
yeah,
no,
stick with movies.
Yeah. The Comedy Central to air the Roast of Charlie Sheen. Date and time same as 2.5 Men. So they're going to air the Roast of Charlie Sheen when the premiere for 2.5 Men with Ashton Kutcher comes out. What do you guys
Does
think?
anybody care about this feud anymore except for the people that are in it? Because like 2.5 Men is a shitty show in my opinion, and Charlie Sheen is kind of like, I don't know. We've all gotten. I mean, as much as I made a joke about it earlier, I feel like most people are like, it's becoming the new Austin Powers. I'll put it that way. I don't want to. It's I don't know. Every time you make a Charlie Sheen joke now, it's like, yeah, that was like 6 months ago.
You know, what do you think, Brian?
I think 2.5 Men is one of the best written comedies on TV. Actually, it's simple. It's stupid. It's guy humor. Everything is a sexual innuendo, and there's always hot women on there. So
I got to tell you, I don't really particularly like it, but everybody loves it.
I think the show is probably about 3 years past its stopping point. Yeah, just because you can't call it 2.5 Men when the half man is twice the size of both of the other dads.
He's a fat kid.
Yeah, it's actually 3.25 men.
Right, exactly.
Well, Brian, as a fan of the show, are you like excited Ashton Kutcher is coming to bring his brand of obnoxious humor to it? Because I can't imagine you are.
All that being said, I haven't watched a new episode in probably 3 years.
Oh,
4
okay.
years. So,
That really makes the argument.
but I'll catch like a rerun here and there if I'm flipping channels and I catch it, or something like that. But it's not one that I go out of my way to record and all that stuff. There's usually something else on that catches my attention. But it is one of my. For me, it's kind of like House. I like House, but I really don't watch it. It's kind of fucked up like that. But it's funny. It's simple humor. It's guy humor. Everything's a sex joke. So
I like sex jokes. That's fine. Moving on. I'm going to leave TV now and go
your
back.
sex is a joke from what I hear. But,
Wow. Damn it. I hate it when you get me. This is pretty exciting for Brian and I because we're big
Scott
fans.
passed out. By the
No,
way.
he's still here.
I'm here.
He's still here. Brian and I are pretty excited about this.
Did
but
I
Fast
pass out?
6 is getting the fast track. It's going to hit theaters Memorial Day weekend 2013. It's going to be the final film of the trilogy, so to speak, that began with the fourth movie. and it's going to focus on the. I don't want to spoil it, but on the spoiler on the after.
seen
Hang
it.
on the spoiler on the after the credits sequence, and then director Justin Lin is. He says that they shot a 12-minute opening with the last film, so they have that ready to go. What were you gonna say, Mike?
I haven't seen the fifth one, so I didn't want you to say what it was.
Oh, no.
'Cause I will see it.
No, I won't spoil anything.
Which is weird that I'm talking about like this for a Fast and Furious movie, but if I'm gonna see it, I don't know. Go ahead.
You gotta wait till after the credits. It's a big spoiler.
Okay.
And I wouldn't spoil it because there's a lot of people who haven't seen it. But I'm pretty excited about it. Brian, what do you think? Are you glad they're doing another one, or do you wish they kind of would just leave it on that, or what?
Oh no, after because that, like I said, like we talked about before, that fifth one is such a hell of a ride, and then they set up something else at the end of it, and I was ready to walk out of that theater, go into another one, and watch 6 at that point. I'm pumped for it.
Me too. I'm with you.
I need to see 5 because I'm still. Man, you guys have been
Did you
talking
even see
up.
the first one?
I saw the first one. That's the only one I saw.
Yeah, because you didn't really like it, though, right?
I didn't like the first one, man.
I'll be honest, if you didn't like it, well, you might like this one because it's not really a racing movie at all. It has really very little to do with the cars.
Well, from what it sounds like with the newer ones, they've taken themselves a lot less seriously, and I feel like that's what I didn't like about the earlier ones, especially the second one. Oh my god! But like
Yeah.
I
What's
don't
up,
know.
bro?
I
What's
think
up,
that
bro?
that's the right tone. So
That'll
I'm
be
in your
good.
face.
What's that?
I'm in your face. Never mind.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Apparently not.
It was a line that Vin Diesel threw.
It was?
Yeah,
I'm in
I
your
got-
face. That's my Vin Diesel.
That's a really bad Vin Diesel. I'm just
No
like,
one can actually do Vin Diesel except for Vin Diesel. By the way,
No,
I
Tony
realized
C
that.
from Tony C and the
Tony
Truth
C
Can.
from Tony C and the Truth, a band. He can fucking do Vin Diesel.
He
He
can do Vin
sings Vin Diesel. AC/DC Vin Diesel is what he sounds like. It's fucked up.
Go check out that band. You'll
Yep,
like
Tony
it.
C and the Truth. They made one CD. Good luck finding it. IGN. I only put this on because this part made me laugh. IGN had an exclusive behind bars interview with Wesley fucking Snipes.
I just want to go on record and say this has something to do with games, and I had nothing to do with it.
Why do you have? He was talking. That's the very brief part of this, but he was talking about his Julius Stiles game morphing into a movie.
Julia Stiles, I'm all about it.
Julius morphing
That'd
in,
be hilarious if it was Julia Stiles.
morphing into a film, and he said that he would be open to a new Blade. And all I got from that was that I'm convinced he was just asking for the job.
He's just bored in prison.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm in
I'll
prison.
do a Blade
I'll fuck your
film.
dick.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so tired of blowing white guys. Please give me a job. What do you guys think? Anybody want to see a new Blade with Wesley
No.
Snipes in it?
I want to see a new Blade that is reminiscent of the first Blade movie because 2 and 3 were abysmal as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
Oh God, three blew the other 2 away, as far as I'm concerned.
I thought they were.
But-
I thought 2 and 3 were fun, man.
Ryan Reynolds was funny, but too much funny for 3 for me. Like he was
Vampires.
trying too hard.
Too many vampires.
I'm a big Steven Dorff fan, and I love Steven Dorff.
Thunder
Oh
Cunt.
God,
He was
Thunder
awesome.
cunt. That's all I got to say about
Thunder
Ryan.
yeah, exactly.
Ryan Reynolds.
That was definitely one of the best scenes out of all 3 movies. But
And I really liked the second one because I thought that was a real horror movie. I mean,
But Blade isn't about being horror. Seriously,
did you ever read the comic?
a little bit.
Okay, no, you didn't, because you wouldn't have made that statement if you did. It's not like they made it into a very generic action kind of franchise, and there was a lot of horror elements in the comic book that they didn't really
Okay, fair enough.
touch in the movie.
But I like what they did with the first movie. I thought the first movie it felt fresh, it felt original. I thought the casting was great.
I think he's perfect as Blade, honestly. I mean, and now he should come out a little more hardened, so to speak. You know what
In
I'm
the
saying?
ass?
Everywhere. I think everywhere you want to be, he's hardened.
That's Visa.
Yeah, that's also Wesley Snipes in prison. Moving on from that, because that's just all I hear are crickets on that one. Nobody wants to see a new Blade movie? No one? Bueller.
no,
Bueller.
I'm fine leaving it the way it is. Just
And as big of a fan of the first movie as I was, I'm fine leaving it as it is too.
Well, you said you didn't like the second and third one.
I was fine with the first one.
Oh, you just wanted to stop there
Yeah, seriously, it was fine with the first one.
because you're a big Steven Dorff fan?
That's part of it. I like Steven Dorff a lot.
Seriously?
I do
Why don't you just watch another movie with Steven Dorff in it?
because they're not as good.
There aren't that many.
They're not as good.
Entropy is like the only good Steven Dorff.
So,
movie
so nobody
ever.
can make a new one that might have him in it that's good.
have you seen Botched with Stephen Dorff?
Or Cecil.
Has
B.
anybody seen Botch besides you with Steven Dorff?
Wasn't he in Cecil B. Demented? That was kind of a fun
Cecil be demented?
movie. Cecil.
Cecil?
Cecil. Hello.
Am I completely out of line? I thought it was Cecil B. Demented.
Your eyes are so bloodshot.
I'm not even.
You look like Harold and Kumar.
Is it?
And we know you want to be Neil Patrick Harris, so you're failing.
Who doesn't? Okay, now we're gonna move on to a segment that Brian originated, which is called "Does It Make Me a Sally for Liking This?" Sally is code for gay. I'm just letting you know. And apparently this is my week, so I'm going to talk about a movie that's not testosterone driven or anything. Well,
That's why you brought that DVD up here.
It's not. I guess it has some testosterone in it, but it's really a movie that I watch.
Gay porn.
It's up there, man. It's pretty close.
Does it make me a Sally for watching gay porn?
Does it?
I got him, guys.
Wow.
I am the joke master on this one, apparently.
Oh my God, he's also very easy this time. But
Well, you should have no problem.
basically, what we're talking about is a movie that I or whoever's segmented us that week watches. That's a little more femmy. It's not really quite so manly. I mean, you can't really brag about it in the football pool. Mine this week that I watch, sometimes alone, sometimes when my wife is here, usually when she's not here, is Charlie's Angels. I'm not gonna lie. I like to watch it. I like to watch the leather. I like Sam Rockwell. There's a lot of Cameron Diaz running around.
I'm not gonna fault you for this one because
in her underwear. I love Lucy Liu, even though her eyes don't match.
Wow.
It's true, they don't match, but she's still hot. I don't know why. I like when a girl is looking at me both different directions.
This is
no matter what way your head's pointing.
Exactly.
This is a movie that I can enjoy with my wife, where she's watching it for the action and I'm watching it for the ass. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I think he would have thrown it in like that.
You know what I'm saying, dog?
It sounded a little more serious.
I can feel you trying to give me a fist bump over the internet right now.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
You feel me, dog?
Oh,
That
wow.
and I'm a big fan of Crispin Glover too. And from
Crispin
back
Glover
in-
is great. He was great in what was that? Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was amazing in that movie.
He is great, but he is the weirdest motherfucker
He is weird
that's
as
ever
fuck.
walked the planet.
Remember Willard?
Yeah. He's weird. Seriously, have you ever seen him in where he actually does guest appearances and whatnot on talk shows and stuff? He is out of his mind.
Have you ever seen him when he was in the Nightmare? Or no, was it Nightmare on Elm Street or was it Friday the 13th where he's dancing? Because it's like the,
yes.
if you have not seen
Friday
that video,
13th,
it's the
the
greatest
final
YouTube
chapter.
video ever.
The final chapter. Yeah, that's my favorite Friday the 13th movie.
Listeners, go look up Crispin Glover dancing on YouTube, and you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it as disturbing as John Candy dancing in Careless Whisper?
John Candy dancing is pretty disturbing.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then during the break, you're going to hear the Harold and Kumar Do Christmas, or whatever it's called, trailer that's coming to you this Christmas, and it will be in 3D, so please check that out. It looks like a stoner movie. All right.
I shot Santa Claus in the face. He's real, and I shot him in the face.
What?
Do you want to see my room?
Ah, married. He's singled up.
Hi, Kumar.
Sorry, I don't date black guys.
What?
What are you doing?
What?
My daughter's in there!
What?
Neil Patrick Harris. Welcome to heaven. I'm Jesus.
Jesus
Christ. I practically run this place.
Oh, for reals?
I mean, my dad owns it, but I'm kind of number one.
You're one of those.
Watch out!
Who are those guys?
I think I was starting to trip out a little bit.
Those kids put something in here.
Dude, we're claymated.
Awesome! Oh my god! This is like that scene from A Christmas Story. How did this happen?
Oh, is it? Is it like the scene from Christmas Story?
I'm sorry, dude. Just walk it off.
I don't know. Hasn't the whole 3D thing jumped the shark by now?
You don't understand. It makes Avatar look avatarded. It's gonna be amazing.
Who are you looking at?
Wish you a Merry Christmas. How are you still alive?
What are you talking about?
We saw you get shot
In that whorehouse?
in Texas.
You branded a prostitute.
Remember?
You have to be more specific.
A very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas in 3D.
Why don't you take your sweater off? For a massage. Just a couple girlfriends.
Okay. Get off of me! Oh, I thought you were gay.
I am gay. Gay for that.
I get the munchies.
And that was Harold and Kumar Christmas 3D extravaganza with Neil Patrick fucking Harris.
I'm not going to lie. That sounds a lot funner than I was expecting it to.
I want to see it. I'm not going to lie. I like NPH, as I like to call them.
NPH.
Yeah. I don't like them in Smurfs movies, but I like them in general. We're going to go into our weekly topic, or whatever clever name we come up with it. I kind of like weekly topic because it's my show. What we're talking about now is an idea that expanded idea of what Mike brought up, which is the Hollywood hype machine. And how do you know what to see anymore? With all the early glimpses, press shots, leaked reviews, etc., has our insatiable need to know everything ruined our movie-going experience? When you go to a movie now with all these advanced images, trailers that give you everything, they don't leave really anything to the imagination. Does that take away from your enjoyment, or is that what got you there to begin with?
In my opinion, this depends on who you are. If you're a hardcore moviegoer and you're seeing everything, then yes, it's gonna ruin everything that you're seeing. But for the commonplace person that does not have the time to see every movie out there, they go to people like us, not necessarily us, but like Rotten Tomatoes or other movie sites, because they've got the busy schedule. They can't go see every movie that we can or that we want to see. So they want to go. They want someone to tell them what movies to avoid and what movies to see.
Going off of that, though, where I kind of, because me and Aaron were talking about this briefly, that this all spurred from me kind of thinking about how, like, every other day there's, like, a new thing from Batman, like, being filmed and stuff like that. And it's like, why do you all want to see everything before the movie comes out? And then when they do see it, they start criticizing it and like, oh, this looks dumb or this looks whatever. And it's like, I think my favorite thing about a good movie is, like, something happens that I hadn't seen before. I was surprised. I discovered it as I was watching the movie. And I feel like these people were already going to see it. And not only that, but they're definitely part of the crowd that is always on the internet and, like, wants to see, and isn't the people you're talking about. And I never understand why people go out of their way to, like, try and expose and this movie more than any movie I think I've ever seen, they go out of their way to really just, like, totally just throw everything out there before the movie is even out.
I agree with that. You see nothing. I mean, you see Catwoman. I've seen Catwoman. I've seen Bane. I've seen Batman. I've seen everything about Dark Knight Rises. The Avengers just had their clips out, so we're seeing tons of actual setups and everything else. And a quick add-in is I've got a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. I can't really say who it is, but he actually works with the Superman movie, right? And they're shooting pictures of General Zod. And the new General Zod in actual costume, right? But they're actually falsifying the foreground. So him in costume, they're going to leak that, and it's gonna show General Zod in costume. But you're going to see a background that really is not from the actual movie, just to kind of throw people off because of this obsessive need for early footage.
So why show it? I mean, seriously,
just so people have a taste of it, but also so they don't give anything away from the movie. I think is kind
but
of
what's going to hurt if they don't show it? Honestly,
I don't know. I don't work for them.
You're going to piss off some nerds. I mean,
well, but Scott, it's not even that. Like they're trying to keep. They have to shoot this stuff outside. Like, I mean, they don't have to, I guess, but it's way cheaper. Like they're shooting a lot of this Bane stuff is in Pittsburgh or wherever. It's like they're shooting this in Pittsburgh because they want that look for Gotham. They can't just like the most cost effective way to do that is to shoot it in Pittsburgh so they get that look. So it's hard to put up a giant like bubble so that they can shoot the movie inside this thing, and so they can't really avoid it, I think.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, give me, I'll take teasers and I'll take previews all day, but just don't give me. I don't go for all that stuff. I don't go for all the pictures from the set of this and pictures from the set of that, or this little here's a 2-minute video clip of of the next big movie that's coming out. I'm like you, Mike. I want to be surprised when I'm watching that movie. I don't want to know. Oh, this is this is where this is where so and so fights so and so, and I know so and so wins. So, this next 5 minutes is not going to be any kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah, but where do you draw the line as a fan?
I can tell you exactly where I drew the line today. I'm a huge fan of Fright Night. I've said that in like probably 3 fucking podcasts. But I really want to see it. Well, they had a Red Band clip on IGN. I said, well, I want to check that out because I assume it's a Red Band trailer, or they just has Red Band. Generally, for people that don't know what that means, it's basically a foul trailer. It's a rated R trailer, is what it means.
Right.
So I just assume it's a Red Band clip. That's what's going to be. It's just going to be a more violent showing of the clip. No, it's actually like a 3-minute scene from the movie, and it actually gives away pivotal plot points of the ending. In the action, and trust me, I've seen Fright Night, so I know exactly what's going on. And it gives away pivotal plot points of near the end of the film, which I thought was just ridiculous. But they do that because they want to draw people into the theaters, because people want to know everything about the movie before they actually pay to see the movie anymore. And I don't quite understand that.
As somebody who's kind of known by a lot of people as like the spoiler freak, I've kind of found a happy medium. And this doesn't always work because sometimes they're bad. But whatever the trailer tends to show me, I go like, well, that's what they wanted me to see. You know, this is all I need to see. Like, and in a certain sense, you know, when I feel like I'm really like, I know I'm going to see this, I don't even watch the trailer, and that's pretty rare. But and there have definitely been trailers that have spoiled a big part. Like, I'll say Moon has something in his trailer that pissed me off when I realized that like it was in there, because I felt like the movie would have been way more impactful had I not known it going into it.
Agreed.
And well, yeah, I mean I made this point a couple podcasts ago where that movie Quarantine, the main shot, the money shot for that movie
is the cover of the fucking DVD.
It's the cover of the movie is the very last scene. It's like, you know, the main character. You know, the main character gets sucked into the pitch black, and you know you never come back from the darkness. So
from the darkness.
And actually, that segues into something else I want to say about this. Is that we're kind of getting to a point where it's hard to avoid any of this stuff because, yeah, like they're putting it, the marketing people are putting stuff like that. But not only that, but like I don't want to see any of this Pittsburgh Batman stuff. I can't avoid it. Like I can't, and it's like you go, well, don't go on the internet. But you know, okay, don't go on the internet. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. I actually went for this particular format. I wanted to make sure everybody had a link to all the stuff or some of the stuff. So I went in, and I'm trying to avoid any spoilers for Avengers because I'm a Marvel fan. I kind of want to see that. So I don't want to see, you know, a constant their fight scenes because this is kind of their culmination of their brand. You know, I don't mind if it's one movie or another movie, but when they have the culmination of the brand, I really want to be shocked by that. I don't want to go in and have it ruined.
Right.
So, but I clicked on it, and all I wanted to do, click on the link and go away. And of course, I click on the link, and there's a huge pop-up that came up with these particular pictures in them, so I couldn't avoid them. Even though I was trying to look at it, it just came full screen, and I couldn't avoid it. And it just irritates me because I realize that Joe Public might want that, but I'm not Joe Public, and I always pay to see your fucking movies. I don't bootleg them or wait until they're on DVD. I actually go to the theater. So I can tell you as one theater goer, I prefer that you don't have everything in the fucking trailer.
See, I don't even think it's Joe Public wants to see this. I don't think Joe Public is going to, you know, moviespoiler.com or whatever and trying to get behind the scenes pictures of the Avengers or Harry Potter or whatever. I mean, I think it's the movie nerds or the comic book nerds or whatever. And I mean, because I don't think, you know, Ma and Pa Smith are really concerned about catching a new glimpse of the Avengers movie.
Yeah, and I hate that the media has kind of become like this. They egg it on. Like, okay, if Empire Strikes Back came out like next year, you know that it would leak out in the script like he's his dad, and there'd be like a CNN story about it. Like literally, it would be this big story, and it's like, why are you leaking this? Why can't you just shut the fuck up and let the movie do it? Like it really. And that, you have to admit, if we all knew that going into Empire Strikes Back, and some people do, I mean, at this point, but back when it happened, and granted, I wasn't alive, but had I been, and it seems like that was like
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, okay, fine. Would you agree that is like one of the biggest kind of plot twists, what the fucks ever, and had it been spoiled on the internet 6 months before, you'd be like, well, fuck this. Like, it would have no real weight to it.
I agree. I think it's one of those movies where if you go in spoiled, it really takes the movie away. Especially since that movie ends on a cliffhanger.
You gotta remember though, guys, that we are very much in the media. We are looking at the internet all day long for movie spoilers and game trailers and whatever. Like we're there. We're not the common person. The common person out there is just like whatever's on the commercial this week is what I'm going to see. Mm-hmm. Honestly,
yep.
I agree with that. But do you guys think that Joe Public or the average person, and I don't mean like us, because obviously we're not average. We know more about it than anybody should really have a legal right to. But and seriously, we probably do. We probably need more to do. These people are probably the right ones. If you listen to this podcast and you're not like us, then God bless you. I kind of want your life.
Video games.
No, I don't, because they give Adam Sandler a career.
Oh.
I like Adam Sandler. Anyway, do you think the average public wants it like this? Like they want everything spoiled. They want to see what's going to happen before they actually pay the money to go see it. No, that's not true, because they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't care. It wouldn't work.
Unless it's Harry Potter, they don't care.
Dude, once again,
and
they give Adam Sandler a career. They don't care. Like I'm not even trying to make a joke. Those people in the vast majority that we're talking about that the movie people want, they don't care. They're just like, this thing. The minute details of the story are not what they're interested in. They're interested in like, what are the basic elements of this movie?
Or who's going to make out with who? Or who's going to... Seriously. I mean...
Yeah, or they go like, oh, Ryan Gosling. And I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm just using an example. But like, oh, Ryan Gosling's in this. I'll see it. I don't give a fuck what it's about. Like, that's literally, in my opinion, how these people think. So I don't understand like why the internet takes all this weird time pandering to the people who are going to see it regardless, to the detriment of people who are going to see it too, but don't need to know every detail about it.
How big of
I will tell you, as somebody who ran a website, you don't continue to run articles that people don't read.
That's true.
You just don't do it. So people are looking at them over and over and over. And trust me, they filter out. They make sure it's individual IPs. They're not just looking at clicks, because some nerds are going to look at that same picture over and over, masturbate to it, come back to it.
But look at how many people are clicking versus how many people are actually going to pay and see that movie. Look at the percentage.
That's true. Green Lantern is a good example of that.
Yeah, Green Lantern is a good example of that, actually. They thought that was going to be a monster hit, and that was not. Brian, thoughts?
Nope.
Thanks for your insight, man. That was awesome.
I love that. I love when he does that. I think he's determined to do that anytime I ask him thoughts. That's what he's going to say. That's the second time he's done it.
It's like his Pavlovian response when he hears the word thoughts.
He hears thoughts. Nope. I'm done. You fucking say shit. I'm not talking to you. You're not the boss of me.
He's going to switch it up and be like, yes.
I have some, but I'm not
You
sure.
remember you've seen Major League, right?
Yes, I have.
I have not, actually. And that one.
What?
I haven't. And I'm going through a baseball thing, too.
You're a sports fan. You've never seen Major League?
No.
Bob Uecker's color man, the guy that sits next to him up in the commentators.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah,
that's me.
Now I remember that fucker.
I won't watch that movie.
He's not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks.
Just a bit outside.
So in closing, I mean, what else is there out of that? Do you think there is too much out there right now? I mean, I realize that people are clicking on it, people want to see it. But do you think they're doing it a little bit much? Like movies I think movies are getting ruined. You go in and you know exactly what's going to happen to the entire movie. It's only getting ruined
for those of us that are looking for it. The people that aren't looking for it are going to see a movie because they want to go.
I disagree with that. I've seen plenty of trailers that are ruined. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to say, like, I didn't want to see anything from The Dark Knight except for trailers. I've already seen, like, scenes from the movie. I've seen stuff that, like, I've seen costumes. I've seen characters. I've seen things. I had no clue were going to be in the movie. I'm not even trying to see this stuff, and I'm seeing it. So I think it's getting worse and worse every year.
But my point is that's you and me. Look at that. What was that Daniel Craig movie we talked about last week? Dreamhouse, where they gave away so much in the trailer. Like, I wish it would have gone.
Yeah, but that's on the marketing team, not on like the media at all.
It doesn't matter how many people are going to see that trailer, or versus how many people are going to go see that movie fresh on. Let me give you an example. How many times have you gone into a movie and seen a trailer before the movie that comes on that you've seen 100 times on TV? And you watch it, and you know the punchline is coming, and the entire theater erupts, and people laughing at this.
That's because they're expected to laugh. Like, I think that's a human thing to just like, oh, I know I have to laugh at this, so I'm going to laugh here, as opposed to, this is so fucking funny the 100,000th time I've seen it.
Mike really thinks people are Mike thinks people are cattle.
They are cattle, dude. Adam Sandler has a career.
I like Adam Sandler. He has a career because he's made some pretty funny movies, believe it or not. Just because you don't like him doesn't make him not funny.
Grown Ups.
I loved Grown Ups. That was
Mr. Deeds.
I didn't like Mr. Deeds, but I like
what?
I didn't, but I love Grown Ups. I'll give you that one.
My point is
funny.
I don't know. That is an aspect of the movie going community I cannot identify with one iota. So
you're like Scott. You're an elitist.
Sure.
What were you gonna say, Scott?
It's not that I'm an elitist. I just don't think it's funny.
That's fair enough. Comedy is very subjective. There's a lot of comedians that are very famous. I can't stand.
You know, you're.
I don't think Mike Myers is funny at all.
Fair enough.
Go ahead, Scott.
No, my point is, man, I totally lost my train of thought now. Like,
Rum.
That was
Rum.
clear.
People, you like I said, you see this.
You got to see this process work. I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Just go ahead. No, you just keep talking. I'm done.
I'll say this. Okay, here's another example. Smurfs did like more than Cowboys and Aliens. Like,
correct. Yep.
And you really think there's a lot there that really drew people into it, or is it just like, oh, we got to bring our kids to a movie? I don't know, cartoon Smurfs.
Nostalgia is there.
Yeah, but I mean that was with. I think part of that was with marketing though, because every commercial that I saw for Cowboys and Aliens was the exact same commercial.
I agree with that. Every time I saw it at the theaters,
I don't like it as the movie gets closer. You see more and more of the movie. Then by the time you actually go see it, you're like, well, shit, I've already figured this thing out. I don't like that. So it's a fine line that you've got to walk. But everything was the same. Every commercial was the same scene. It was the exact same commercials. I mean, the exact same scenes, and it might have been switched around a little bit, in the order that it was shown, but it was the exact same commercial every time.
Yeah, but you could say that about Planet of the Apes, and that movie is fantastic. So, I mean,
now as that got closer, they
not
did
really
put out a little bit more, but
no, because think about the things in that movie that were like the best moments of that movie. You had no clue they were coming.
I knew every big moment that was in the movie. They showed them all in the trailer.
I kind of did too. Yeah, one of my favorite parts is with John Lithgow in that, and
I didn't even know he was in the movie.
Oh, yeah, in the trailer, it was a big part of the trailer.
Yeah, exactly, because it was part of the trailer. And
Are you talking about that one shot?
The one scene where he comes out of the house and
you're not ruining anything for me, are you? Seriously? Because I haven't.
No, it's actually in the trailer. I mean, where John Lithgow gets pushed around.
He gets pushed around, and Caesar protects him.
Okay, well, I'll say this.
And that's but that wasn't that, but they didn't show that till probably the last couple of weeks before the movie came out.
See, but that's not even like what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like near the end of the movie, and I'm really not going to say what it is, but there's a very pivotal, specific moment that happens at the end of that movie that no way would you have known it was going to come. Like if you had known that was going to happen, it would have ruined the end of the movie.
Part of it, but the part on the bridge was spoiled in the trailer. That was part of the trailer.
Yeah, but we all knew monkeys were going to throw shit and blow things up. So
was the Statue of Liberty in there, or?
Actually, only as a little doll that one of the monkeys played with. It was
there's a shot of it too. That's sort of, I don't know. I feel like they were intentionally showing it. But
I'm sure they were, because there's one where monkeys like literally play with a doll. That Statue of Liberty doll is pretty funny.
But there's one scene in that movie that I think makes that movie, and I feel like that wasn't even hinted at. Like I mean, even like
Well, come on, I don't want to talk apes anymore. We did that at the beginning. Let's move on. No more ape talk, because we'll be doing that all day. Back to the Hollywood hype machine. Do you guys think it ruins your experience when you get to the movie? When you go to the movie and you sit down, does it ruin anything for you to know all this shit going into it?
I think it's on me as far as how much I look into it. If I'm that hardcore about it, I want to see that much about it.
Okay, let's say
it's on me.
You do, because I don't know if you do or not, but I know I do. When you go, does that ruin anything for you?
It depends on the movie. Certain movies, like Mike, I will stay away from movies because I want to go into it fresh. Mm-hmm. Same thing with games. If it's something that I know that I'm going to like as much as I'm going to, no matter how much I read about it, I'll just stay away from it. But if it's something that I'm curious about, I want to know about it, and I read too much about it, then it's on me. Honestly, if it's something I know I'm going to love, then I'm going to stay away from it and just enjoy it as it is. It's on me.
What do you think, Mike?
I think that the Dark Knight Returns for me is going to be the big, because I don't know. I think that there are movies that I can say that about, and then sometimes I feel like it's the marketing's fault, and then there are times where, the internet just won't shut up about it. But I still think that this movie is kind of like hitting a level that, if it becomes the norm, could start to really ruin stuff. Now, like I said, I want to see the movie and see like, oh, I knew that was going to happen because I saw this like a year ago. But, maybe not. Maybe for all I know, there's some big element of the movie they're not even showing everybody, and they're kind of doing what your friends do with Superman, where they're like, oh yeah, we'll show them this because they haven't, they're not going to see this. So I don't know. I think that I will say, though, that there are movies like Moon that I went into. And granted, this was the marketing team, but still. Movies where I've gone into it knowing certain things, and it just kills. And granted, I still like Moon a lot, but I would have been like, wow, Moon's one of the best movies of the year, blah, 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 had I not known certain things going into it.
That's fair enough. Brian, what do you think? Does it ruin anything for you?
I kind of, this is not something that you'll hear me say very often, but I actually agree with Scott on this. Yeah, I believe it's on the individual. I've seen pictures of Bane, a couple of minor set shots or something like that of the Batman movie, but for the most part, I haven't seen anything about it. And I practically live on the internet all day, so it's just a matter of where you go and the sites that you check out. I'm not always on, movie sites, so, you can avoid it. There's not, and there's not a lot on TV right now about some of the bigger, like the Avengers or Batman or some of these other big ones that's coming out over the next, 1 to 2 years. Mm-hmm. So it's on the individual. If you really want to know all that stuff, I actually work with a girl. She's a big movie buff. Every week we'll talk for 5 or 10 minutes about what, each other has seen here recently and that kind of stuff. But she blows my mind because she wants to know the ending before she, checks it out.
Are you kidding me?
Why?
If you say, hey, read this book, and she goes, oh yeah, well, it's about this guy and this girl in the Civil War or something like that, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, does he die? Oh. I'm like, I'm not fucking telling you that.
What Rosebud was his sled, and she gets all hard. I mean,
exactly. And so
what a fucking Nazi.
I know, but she just doesn't want that payoff for whatever reasons. I still don't understand it, and I just can't grasp that, because to me that just kind of defeats the whole purpose of the ride. Yeah.
So, yeah. My mom, of all people, like goes on IMDb and like looks up where the spoilers go to decide if she's like gonna go, like if it's interesting to her. And I'm like, you're insane. Like either you want to see this movie or you don't. Why would you bother even doing that?
But yeah, that's one of the reasons she gives. It's like, well, I want to see if it's something that appeals to me. I'm like,
I guess.
Whatever.
In closing, for me personally, so everybody else, it really takes me out of it if I know everything that's going to happen, because all I'm doing is looking for those moments. Like, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. Or when's this one going to come up? That's what it does to me. So,
it's been an hour and a half, and I haven't seen this part, so this has got to be the last scene.
Yeah, and I do very, very well with, because I've kind of conditioned myself to not look at anything spoilery. I mean, I don't read spoiler alerts. As soon as I see something that says spoiler alert, I don't read past that. I never do.
But you're trusting the media to do that. You're trusting your cohorts.
Most
to do
of them
that.
do. I usually go to sites that I know are gonna do that. But I'm saying, but when they do it in trailers, that's where it pisses me off, because I can't avoid that, because I'm watching the trailer to see if I want to see the movie, and then you ruin the whole fucking movie for me. Mm-hmm. And I think every major Hollywood movie has done that for me this summer, except for Super 8. Super 8's the only one that didn't do it. They actually kept the monster out of it, which made it a hell of a lot better of a movie when I went and saw it. Because I'm like, well, this plus and minus, because it's also a little bit of disappointment, because you kind of were hoping a little bit more. But
yeah, but let's be honest, you knew what it was.
You kind of knew what it was. But I'm just saying that made me want to see it more, because I didn't know what was going on. I really wanted to see it.
And
there's none of that anymore. There is nothing. There's no anxiety or stress or anxiousness about
What's the last trailer?
Anymore.
What's the last trailer you saw where you're like, I want to know what's going on, and I got to see that movie because of that?
Super 8.
That's what I'm
Literally,
saying.
Super 8. Yep.
Like they don't exist anymore. Everything is given away so much on trailer.
Well, that's why Paranormal Activity, I like, beyond the because we were talking about this earlier too, to kind of connect to that. Like, there's this whole idea of like, oh, I've seen that before, but the idea that like you may have seen what you think, this might be derivative, but like there might be something here that you can discover that you haven't seen before, and like that, because movies to me are about discovery. Storytelling in a lot of ways is a lot about discovering something, and so to take the discovering away, it's just that's like cinematically jerking off if you're just trying to get a feeling like, I want to laugh, so I'll watch somebody poop their pants. Like, if you know you're going to get that?
Oh, you do like Adam Sandler movies.
No, I'm
saying
that's what I don't like.
Yeah, that's what he was making fun of average America.
I was being facetious.
I know. Were you being facetious?
I was.
Oh. And you're coming back. You're starting to use big words again. Good job. Good job.
I'm out of alcohol.
He is out of booze.
Shower during the break must have helped.
It was actually a golden shower, but that's besides.
You guys were gone for a long time.
It's just you and me, dude. That's not helping our case.
I wasn't denying it. All right.
Really, I think that I was just going to finish the thought by saying, taking that sense of discovery away from films, to me, takes a core part of like why we even go to movies to begin with.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's a great way to close. Let's move on to DVDs. Now, we're going to be pretty quick on the actual releases. We're going to go into our flashbacks because there's shit out. But here's what's coming out on August 23rd. The Beaver.
I like that movie.
Mel, did you see it?
Oh, wait, it's not that movie?
It's not that movie.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was.
It's Mel Gibson and a...
there should be a porn version of that, though. That'd be great.
Trust me, there is.
With a hand puppet.
How can they pornify the title, though?
I mean,
exactly. It's
the
just
Beavers.
The Beaver.
Beavers.
Furry Beaver.
It's a lesbian movie, The Beavers.
The Beavers.
Mel Gibson and a Jodie Foster flick about a man who has a mental snap and can only communicate his feelings through a stuffed beaver.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's how I do it, too.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd rather jerk off with a handful of soft scrub than see that movie.
I'll be honest, I kind of want to see it. It just sounds... I mean, it's got to be a good script to make them sign up for that shit.
I agree, too. I'm curious.
There's a couple of ones coming out. Troll Hunter, you can look it up if you want to know what that is.
Is that the Norwegian one?
Yes, actually.
I've heard good things about that.
I've heard it's pretty interesting. Blitz, which is another Jason Statham movie that didn't make theater.
Can we just start calling Jason Statham movies like Statham 2.0, 3.0?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Statham 4.0?
He's the new Seagal.
Yeah, he is. Every movie's the same.
Well, no, Seagal's pretty bad. I would say he's the new Van Damme.
The last good Statham movie was Snatch, and just because
I liked Expendables.
I like the title.
Transporter's awesome, as I said.
Yeah,
earlier.
Transporter. And Transporter 3 was really good because I had,
Transporter 2 is good if you realize that it's not the same kind of movie. Like, it's clearly going for that over-the-top, like, ridiculous martial arts thing.
That's the one I can't go with. That and Crank 2 both blow for me.
Oh, Crank is cool. Crank 2...
Crank 1, great. Crank 2,
yeah, Crank 1 rocked.
Hated.
Crank 2 sucked. But I like The Mechanic.
Yeah, The Mechanic was not bad, actually.
One word, Snatch.
Does that go with the Beaver?
It does a little bit.
Does a little bit. You can have a double feature.
That would have been a great segue if I'd have thought about it.
Okay.
Snatch and the Beaver. It's like an 80s sitcom.
Doesn't sound near as gay as the Conan day.
No. Win-Win's coming
jealous.
out. That's Paul Giamatti, which I actually want to see. Paul Giamatti is an attorney scheming to keep his practice by acting as a caretaker of an elderly client. The Event, the complete series. I say complete series because it was fucking canceled.
That show was horrible.
Did it even end?
I don't know.
I remember watching that while I was still watching Lost, and I was just like, really, you guys are that
They
freaked out
tried
about it?
so hard to make it out of Lost.
It didn't
And
work.
it didn't
It
work.
didn't work
even,
at all.
Like, even by, let's bring in Dominic Monaghan. Look, you'll totally not think of Lost now.
Yeah, right.
That's all I did.
All I kept thinking was, I wish you were dead.
I lost the last like 2 episodes of that show.
NCIS, the regular version, and LA are both their latest seasons are on DVD.
I was going to say, haven't those been on DVD for like 10 years?
Yeah, that's the latest seasons. Any pick of the weeks, it's a hard one. I'm going to go with the Beaver just because nothing else looks that great. Win-Win looks okay.
I think Troll Hunter is worth checking out, just from what I've heard about it. I don't know a ton about it, but I know that the special effects are supposed to be cool, and I'm always a big fan of like something that's like foreign and is getting good buzz if it's good. So,
Brian?
Yeah, the Swedes and the Norse are they're coming out with some pretty cool stuff here recently, the last few years. Troll Hunter kind of piques my interest, but I'm a big Jason Statham fan, so I'll go with Blitz.
Look at Brian going for the under.
I'm going with Win-Win. I saw that trailer, and I'm a huge Paul Giamatti fan. I think I won't say underrated because he's been in a lot of films, but a feel good movie with Paul Giamatti sounds like a good time for me. I'm interested in that movie.
I like good times. I'm a big fan. All right, well, that's what's coming out. That's our pick of the weeks, which, trust me, you're probably better off finding something that's been in the stores for a couple of weeks. But if you want a new one, that's what you got. Okay, Flashback DVD. This is a quick segment where we go through, well, we always say it's quick. It never is. Where we each pick a movie. We do our own little trailer. Now, everybody is going to do 60 seconds, 90 seconds maximum. I'm going to buzz people when they hit 90 seconds because we're going to stay on task. We can discuss it when you're done with your trailer, but basically sell your movie in 90 seconds or less. When I do mine, please feel free to buzz me. And then we're going to talk about it. These are movies that are either obscure, unpopular, forgotten about, something along those lines, but we're just kind of reminding you, hey, this is out there. If you can't think of anything to watch this because here's why we love it. To start it off, we're going to start with Scott Clark.
Before I start into my movie, I just want to say that I appreciate this segment because I actually watched 2 of the past flashbacks from previous podcasts. I watched Savior, as per your recommendation, as well as Contender. And although they were a little dry, I did appreciate them.
What'd you think? Be honest.
You want me to ask? Savior was a really good film. It was really well acted, and it was an interesting concept that really pushed the envelope. But man, it was a little slow. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a little slow.
It was a little slow. The Contender I felt was a little bit more interesting, just because, and this is coming from a guy who hates politics.
You do hate politics.
I do hate politics, but I thought it was well acted. Gary Oldman, who I normally love, I fucking hated him in this movie. He was just a complete.
But in a good
dick.
way, right?
I loved to hate him pretty much. Like he was really good. Jeff Bridges,
Wasn't he like the best president
He
ever?
was. He was great.
And his speech at the end was just like, "Fuck yeah!"
He was like a cool JW or GW. You know what I'm saying? Like if JW like had a brain, that's what he would be.
Josh Brolin is JW.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, so I'm gonna go to my movie.
What did you think of Joan Allen? That's a big one because I think it really took a really strong actress to do that part for the reason because of the whole purpose of the movie. I mean, if you listened last week, but she is vice president, and they bring up some things that may or may not be in her past, and she takes the high road. And which everybody that's a politician would tell you don't take the high road, you take the mud, dirty road. And she takes a very respectable, very poised, and I thought very
I did
impressive.
like that. And I'll be honest, my only experience with Joan Allen was Face Off.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That's like probably the most prominent face or movie that I've seen her in. And
she was nominated for The Contender, just so you know. So was Jeff Bridges.
I believe you. And I thought it was refreshing to see her in this role because she was a very powerful yet confident woman at the same time. And I really enjoyed her performance because she stuck to her guns, and I really liked kind of the message that the whole thing delivered. So I do recommend that movie.
Well, I'm glad you checked those out.
So that said, my movie for the week that I picked for Flashback is an older movie called Regarding Henry, which you may not be familiar with, but it is an old Harrison Ford movie with Annette Bening. Harrison Ford plays pretty much a dickhead in the he's a lawyer. And he's just a jerk-off, complete jerk-off. And he's in a convenience store, gets shot in the head during a robbery. And the movie is based about his recovery, where he's in rehab. And as he comes through this recovery, learns how to walk, learns how to talk, learns how to do basic motor functions, he comes out as a completely different guy. And I can't tell you how enjoyable it is to watch his character going from a complete asshole to a lovable, likable father, husband, and you learn a little bit about his past as you go through the movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's from 91, I think it is. So it's an older movie, but if you like Harrison Ford, like his acting skills, this is a movie not to be missed. I really enjoyed this movie.
That's a good one. I like that. And 1 minute. Nice job, Scott Clark.
You like that?
Nice job.
I practiced.
Awesome.
In the mirror.
Any thoughts
naked.
on this? Everybody see this?
Yeah,
No.
I've seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but Harrison Ford. This really is one of the better acting, real legitimate acting jobs that he's done, and he really does go from this wide range of a-hole to just nice guy. So definitely, it's a good pick. Check it out if you can.
Excellent.
Where do you? Is it on Netflix or?
I did check this out. Unfortunately, this is not on Netflix Instant Play right now. It was a few months ago. If you want to watch this, you'll have to get on Netflix DVD or rent it. Seriously, it really is worth the rental if you check it out. It's a good movie, especially considering how old it is. It does give the versatility of Harrison Ford, who normally gets the Indiana Jones or Han Solo rap, but he really does show his good acting side in this movie. So check it out.
Does he shoot first? Oh wait, I guess not.
I think he got shot first. Brian, you're up. You got 90 seconds. Do it, and let us know when you're done.
All right, my pick is Running Scared with Paul Walker from 2006, I think it was. Paul Walker plays this guy named Joey. He's a small-time kind of hood. He works for this, mob family and, his crime family. And anyway, he's put in charge of getting rid of this hot weapon, after it's used to kill a dirty cop. So he hides it down in his basement. He doesn't realize it, but his son and his kid and his neighbor's kid is down there playing, and they're kind of watching him hide this gun. The neighbor's kid steals it, ends up killing his abusive father. Anyway, Joey, played by Paul Walker again, is basically goes after the kid. The kid takes off running, so he's got to find this kid. The whole movie is basically him trying to track down this kid and also get this gun back before they all end up dead. So he's basically got there's two different crime families that's chasing him. The police are chasing him. He gets into one clusterfuck after another. It's like 2 hours of just exhaustive awesomeness, with just a whole lot of tension and a whole lot of what the fuck was that? So it's not really one to watch with your kids, but definitely it's nonstop action from the moment that you hit play. So you can find it on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and some cheap DVDs at Walmart or something. So check it out.
I have not seen this movie, but I've read the cover, and I think the way they describe this movie is like Kill Bill is for pussies. It's
actually, if you follow it, it's based on, wasn't it like a nursery or mother it's like stories. I mean, the whole format of the movie is kind of flows with nursery rhymes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how it works, but somebody will have to look into that, and we'll have to report on it next week because I'm almost positive. Because that's actually, I'm glad you picked that one. That's one of my son's favorite movies.
It's funny. I own that movie and I haven't watched it.
Do you? It's a really fucked up movie, and I can't remember what it was, but it's like the movie, the different scenes run variants of nursery rhymes or.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, but it makes sense because there's a lot of scenes that really go from different crazy locations, and it's there's so much tension in that movie, and there are some shocking scenes, and it's not so much, it doesn't get to you because it's it's gross or it's shocking or it's just like, you got to be kidding me, but it's because that tension is so built up that whole time. By the time this movie's done,
Brothers Grimm. Those stories, Brothers Grimm.
Okay,
right.
Those are the stories that it's from. Go ahead.
So, but by the time the movie's done, you're exhausted. You're sweaty. You're just like, God, I need a cigarette, and I don't even smoke. So
that's funny. All right, Mike, you got 90 seconds. Go.
Okay, so mine is a documentary from last year, actually, called Marwin Call. And I'll it's a movie that you should only know certain things about going into it. And essentially it's about a guy who has brain damage from something that you kind of find out about later in the movie. But he creates this 1/6 scale World War II era town in his backyard with all of these little action figures. And as you start to learn more about him, you realize all these people represent real people in his life. And he's just sort of, for his own enjoyment, goes back and sort of poses them and takes some of the best photographs I've ever seen of sort of miniatures and kind of creates his own story. And as much as that's sort of the draw to get you interested in what's going on, the actual, when you learn about what happened to him and what kind of guy he's like and all these other things that happen throughout the film, that's really kind of what is brilliant about it, because it really breaks down sort of what can happen to people after something extremely tragic happens and sort of what people can do, what they do to sort of correct that.
Interesting. So where's it available at?
You can get it on Netflix Instant Watch. I'm sure it's on DVD and everything. But yeah, it's an Instant Watch documentary. When I saw it, I didn't even know anything about it. I just kind of looked at what my friend said, oh, let's go see this. It's at the art house in town. I came out of it and was just like, this is incredible. It's kind of a
Art Nouveau.
No. It's very accessible. I mean, when you see it, it's actually, the guy is so kind of quirky and fun that you start to get really into it really quick. You think you wouldn't care about this thing this dude's making up in the back of his head, but you kind of become pretty engrossed in a lot of it. It's pretty hard not to be extremely interested because it's one of those people that you learn one thing and then you learn another thing and then you learn another thing, and there's just layers on layers to this guy and all the people around him that he sort of affects by it and all stuff. It's pretty interesting.
That is interesting. I have to check that out, and especially for anybody that's looking for something a little more creative and a little more artsy. That's a good choice.
Artsy, 83 minutes too. It's pretty short. So.
I like short. Ask my wife. She likes short too. Okay, so here's mine. Let's see if I can do it in 90 seconds. All right, this is dedicated to Brad, if you're listening. My flashback is, if you go back to the late 80s, early 90s, there was a comedian that was really famous for about a minute. It's kind of like a Dane Cook. He did some shitty-ass, misogynistic, ridiculous humor.
Little Miss Muffet.
Said I tough it. Yeah, I'll do that later. He did one movie that it was one shot for stardom, and it fucking failed miserably. And that was called The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Now, most people probably haven't seen it. I know that we watched it over and over and over again when I was probably about 15, 20 years ago, whenever it came out, 1990-something. It was directed by Rennie Harlin, who did Die Hard 2, and it's basically where he plays a rock and roll detective. So he's just a misogynistic pig who smokes all the time, bangs every chick he can find, says rude things to everybody he meets, and cares about absolutely no one. Meets this group.
Oh, so it's you.
Yeah, basically. He meets this groupie chick named Zuzu's Pedals.
Wait, what name?
Zuzu Pedals. You're interrupting my trailer, dudes. This is not count. This does not count against my time, Brian. Zuzu Pedals, and he's trying to find out the mystery between a friend of his that got murdered. Now, granted, it's fucking stupid. The movie is not high quality. There's a couple of action scenes. There's a huge ton of stars in it. Andrew Dice Clay, obviously, is Mr. Ford Fairlane. Wayne Newton's in it. Priscilla Presley, Morris Day, Robert Englund, Ed O'Neill from now from Modern Family, then from Married with Children. there's a shitload of people. There's a lot of music in it. The music's pretty good. And it's so misogynistic and fucking funny. I'm sorry. And it has my favorite joke of any movie I've ever watched
Are you gonna spoil it?
that I repeat all the time, which is where Zuzu Pedals is falling off a building. He goes, "Don't worry, if you fall, I'll make it." Oh, and it's just my favorite joke of all time. I use it all the time. I swear to God, it's a true story. So that's mine. That's the Adventures of Ford Fairlane. That's my trailer. Now I'm done with my trailer, Brian, so you can stop timing. But I do have to tell you a funny story. I worked at a theater when this came out, and this is one of the coolest posters I ever saw, because they were really trying to make this a big hit, and it flopped horribly. But it had a trailer or a poster that they actually had to remove from stock because they decided that the tagline was so offensive.
Okay.
And it was actually valued a lot of money for a long time.
Did you snag one?
I know I tried to, and I didn't get it. But this is the entire poster. All it had was a picture of Andrew Dice Clay, and it said, Ford Fairlane, rock and roll detective. To some, he's the world's greatest detective. To everyone else, he's just a dick. And, it fit perfect with the movie. It fit perfect with the movie, and they pulled it right before the movie came out. It was fucking genius. I wish I could have had one. I'd have that on my wall still. That's mine. Have anybody seen this besides me and Brad?
I love it.
But I will.
Do you?
Oh yeah, it's campy. It's just you got to go in there with knowing that the dumb factor is pretty high in this. So don't go in there expecting Oscar quality cinema. But it's hilarious. You go in there knowing if you know what you're going into, this movie is absolutely hilarious, and it still works today.
It does. I still watch it at least once every couple months. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I do. I love Ford Fairlane.
Can I borrow it?
Are you gonna watch it?
I will. I watched the other two, didn't I?
Yeah, that's true. You gotta watch it with the mind of I don't like women. I like to smoke and I want to drive really fast. That's kind of how you gotta walk it. Or not that I don't like women. I just want to sleep with them. You remember that?
What is it? Tone Loc makes an appearance in it.
Tone Loc makes an appearance. Yeah.
Mind if I ask you a few questions? Like that kind of appearance?
No, that's Jim Carrey. It's the guy that was hanging out with Jim Carrey. He's in it.
Wait, that was a scene.
Yeah, that's true. It was. Well, that's it. That's our flashbacks. That's our show. I hope it was a little lively. Scott's back with us. He's full throttle, so I can't wait for him to listen to the first half of this shit. You might feel bad tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
When you listen to it, I know you, and you feel bad about stuff because you've got, what do they call those things?
Nice. Is that a conscience?
Syndrome?
Thank you, conscience. See,
conscience. Yeah.
Fucking Brian knew what it was.
Damn my conscience. Yeah.
Well, I keep saying, I'm going to get one day, but haven't got around to it.
No, that's get some.
Oh, well, that's number 2 on the list.
Any closing thoughts? Everybody, take a minute. Anything you want to say before we close?
Does anybody want me to ask Joseph Gordon-Levitt anything specific if I get the chance?
Ask him what the fuck he was thinking of My Mysterious Skin, because that movie is fucked up.
No, but you can tell him I really was a big fan of Brick, and I kind of wish that
I did like Brick, but god damn it. Did you see My Mysterious Skin?
No, I haven't seen it.
That movie disturbed the fuck out of me, and I've seen 8mm.
Wait, like disturbed in what way? I haven't seen it. It's like
gay sex kind of way.
Oh,
so you liked it?
No.
You liked it a lot, over and over.
Was that real gay sex, Joseph Gordon-Levitt? That's what I'm asking.
No. Like gay sex with a leper. It kind of weirded out.
Was that a real leper you were fucking in that movie?
You know what? You can ask him.
Get the fuck out of here.
Based on the trailer from 50/50, I would like you to ask him, did he actually try any of those cancer pickup lines? There you go. Go with that.
You know what I would like to know from him is like going from Third Rock from the Sun to like serious roles. How did he make that transition?
Yeah, that's true. That's a big stretch for him. Yeah.
Because like it was a seriously comedic role in Third Rock from the Sun. And then to go to like these like you're supposed to be taken seriously now. How do you do that? How do you do that going from a comedic role to a serious role?
I think it's because he just cut his hair.
It's called acting.
Yeah, it is called acting. That's what his job is.
That's the best I can come with short notice.
just tell him I said hey. That's all.
Just tell
Brian Williams from the Hollywood Outsider podcast says hi.
He says hey. He says hey.
Hey.
Podcast with him.
And with that, I think we are going to bid adieu. I'm going to get Scott some aspirin probably, and maybe a cold shower.
A taxi.
Yeah. No, he looks okay now.
There's Jack Daniels.
We will.
Upstairs, isn't there?
We will be back next week. So
I might not after this show.
You'll be back. You'll be back. You don't have school yet. You don't get to not come back till you don't have school.
Well, school does start next week, so
fuck you. Education's for silly people.
So,
okay. I hope everybody had a good time. Remember, check out one of our flashback DVDs and send us some feedback. If you go to HollywoodOutsider.com or .net, I'm sorry, or thehollywoodoutsiders.com, you can get the easy links to us, or you can send us an email at HollywoodOutsider@comcast.net. You can Twitter at H_outsider, and I don't know, there's a myriad of other things. Facebook.com / The Hollywood Outsider.
Can I pimp my show?
No. So everybody have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in. Please tune in next week for another episode of the Hollywood Outsider podcast. But you can check out the official Thread podcast if you're into video games. That's what Scott Clark hosts, and he does that one sober. All right,
going to a weird place.
Everybody, I hope have a great time. Remember to go see a movie, support your local movie theater, buy popcorn because they don't make any money if you don't. So enjoy. Talk to you next week.
It's bedtime.
Decision for me letting you go. No time to visit, I just wanna go home. You're unable to understand that I'm doing the best I can, and all I know is all I'd rather be home. I'd rather be home. I'd rather be
Hey, baby.
Come live with me so you can live inside me.
Oh, God.
What the fuck just happened, dude?
When I left my house, this was up to here in Rum.
You were fucking driving with that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And you know he's talking about video games on this show. He's got no inhibitions about that shit.
You better fucking... You did listen to the podcast. Okay. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Scott.
I love you and you love me.
Barney gave me HIV. I used to sing that to my daughter when she didn't understand what it meant.
You sang that to your daughter?
Fuck yeah. I love you, you love me. Barney gave me HIV, so I punched him in the nuts and I shot him in the head. Aren't you glad that Barney's dead?
You're a great fucking father, you know that?
She didn't understand. But it probably explains a lot of her issues.
You think?
But he was also not number one last year, so that's why I'm saying it for this. Like I've never seen a number one repeat.
Right.
Scott just
what
violated.
is so fucking funny?
He just fucking grabbed my ass while I was checking the sound.
Jesus Christ!
Wow, that was inappropriate.
It was not.
I feel violated.
You feel
Once again, at least he didn't tell you he wanted you to be inside of him.
Not yet. Are you ready, dude? Because you look fucked up.
I look.
Seriously, he looks drunk. Welcome to the Hollywood Outsider Podcast. My name is Aaron Peterson. I am your host. Next to me. Right
Scott
next
Clark.
to me. Thank you.
Scott Clark. Video games.
And across, this is not a video game podcast. God damn it. Hi, and welcome to the Hollywood Outsider Podcast. To my immediate right is...
Scott Clark.
Thanks. And also joining us is... Brian Williams.
He can't introduce himself.
Every time I get up, he grabs my ass. I can't get up.
One time that happened.
Oh,
one time.
But you're eyeing it a lot more than one.
For me letting you go. No time to visit, I just wanna go home. You're never to understand that I'm doing the best I can, and all I know is all I'd rather be home. I'd rather be home. I'd rather be